Hello, Namaste. Welcome to the print. My name is Amana Begam. And once again, I'm going to discuss my article, which I have written about all the controversy around the IS trainee Puja Khedkar, and I have tried to analyze that why we again and again in our society or in our nation keep seeing the same kind of cases of corruptions, of bribery, of nepotism. So basically, she used a disability and OBC non-creamy layer certificate to get selected in IS exam in UPSC, and it has basically sparked more than just controversy. It has shaken people's trust in the very prestigious civil services, making them question the entire integrity of this selection process. It also has disappointed the youth who see such a competitive exam as a mean to bring about positive change. However, this case, which has prompted many important conversation on use of power, isn't the first. Stories of corruption, which involve bribery, exploitation, nepotism, and much more, are not uncommon, particularly within India's elite bureaucratic circle. The problem here is that while much has been discussed, returned, debated about the issue, very little progress has been made. For that reason, some argue that there should be a complete dismantling of all India services because it was originally established by the British as an Indian civil service to govern colonized population. Even the first Indian Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, regretfully admitted his inability to reform the Indian bureaucracy. And I quote him, I could not change the administration. It remains a colonial administration. So, and we talk about the facts. So I would, if we want to talk about figures and all, so I would like to basically quote the former IS officer and the Reserve Bank of India governor, D. Subbarao. According to him, about 25% of the IS officers are either corrupt, incompetent, or inefficient. However, the argument that inefficiency and corruption can be solved only by dismantling the system and establishing a new one doesn't appeal to me, because even if you establish a new system, there is no guarantee that the corruption will not make its way into the new system. Because I believe the corruption exists and thrive in India because it is often socially acceptable and in some cases even aspirational. So this accumulation of the wealth, if influence, and the efficient outcome, if you have a good connection or right connection, many time overshadow our ethical consideration. Even those who normally oppose corruption often find it wrong, often find themselves to see it as a wrong. They also find themselves complicit and adopting to the system where these malpractices are considered essential for survival and progress. So they have to pay the prices if they do not practice the same corruption. So this raises very critical questions about our societal value. Do we genuinely disdain corruption, or do we secretly admire the outcome, like wealth accumulation and the power that it sometimes gives? Also, a degree of the profit making and corruption in the government and out of this position of authority is socially acceptable even by the masses, I would say. The most of the time, the normal Indian population get frustrated when they believe that the level of the corruption exceed the reasonable limit. A certain limit is okay, still it's under the limit. So this normalization of corrupt practices reveals a very deeper issue. Those in the position of authority aren't merely seen as a public servant. They are seen as an individual entitled to certain privileges. And fixing the issue, particularly within the IS system, require more than the legal and institutional reform. It need a fundamental shift in our collective conscience. And why this is very important to address the corruption in bureaucracy, because we have corruption in our political system as well. However, still politician faces electoral consequences. The voter can vote them out for their wrongdoing. IS officers do not have such a direct accountability. This position is for the lifetime, and they're going to serve the lifetime in the same system. So they operate kind of with the less direct accountability, and that's why it is more crucial to implement reform and ensure transparency within the system. And having said that, it is also important to acknowledge that and appreciate all those officers who consistently upheld their integrity and serve the nations with the dedication. And in my article, I have mentioned about those heroes or those IS officers. You can read about them and how they are serving the nation in the right way. And but sometimes they have to pay the price as well, as I have said already, that if you don't want to be part of that corrupt system, many a time you pay the price. For example, the IS officer Ashok Khemka, who is known for his stand against the corruption, and for the consequences, a lot of people argue that he was transferred more than 55 times in his 30 years career as of now. And we also have the example of IS officers who paid the ultimate price of their life to fight against the mafia. So please go and read my article. I have mentioned about them in the detail. But the questions boils down that as a collectively society, what is our aspiration? Do we want to be someone like who misuse the power for the personal gain, or we want to be individually to make them role model who basically follow the right path and show the integrity. And I do believe that it basically boils down to it that as a society, what kind of mindset and approach we adopt. I have discussed about those technical point as well, like what kind of legal reform we need and the political willingness we need for the reform. But this article was more focused on the social mindset, which promote the corruption and support the corruption. So I mean, our fate is in our hand, basically. The collective, what kind of the collective aspiration we will decide will take our society in that direction. And please go read my article. And for more such video, do follow the print. Thank you.